My name is Magdy Serour from Sydney, Australia, and I have the pleasure and the honor to actually participate in this conference series back from 2003. And I really enjoyed the conference very much. I learn a lot from the participant every time I come to the conference. I've just been asked to give this talk about half an hour ago, which is not a really enough time for me even to prepare some slides, but I put some together because Khalid is very interested on the project I'm running at the moment. As he mentioned, I spent the last 12 years in teaching between the University of Western Sydney and University of Technology. And at the same time, I was still doing a lot of consulting because my approach to my students is not only to teach them the theory, but I usually take them to projects outside and get them involved in a real project. Because of my connection with the industry outside, I could actually provide them with a lot of opportunities. Now, I've been involved in a big project which is called Member Zone, and the Member Zone actually took most of my time, then I have to give up teaching, at least for the 3 years, the age of that project. Then that's what I'm going to talk about it now, just give you the ideas we've been working with. Hopefully that I will learn more from your comments that we can incorporate on the system because it's still halfway through the finish. The Member Zone is 3 years project that initiated in early last year, 2009, in a cooperation with the Australian Research and Development Program. It's been supported by the Australian research because we put a big plan that we actually trying to introduce a new system concept to the organization in general. It doesn't matter if they are business or non-for-profit, that might help the market in Australia. And that becomes as a system for the enterprise social networks. The goal is to design the system to provide a set of web-based services aiming to assist organizations in managing their relationship with their members. Those members could be a student at the education level, or they could be donors for fundraising systems, or they could be members for a trade union or for any other business organization. And you see all the organizations, it doesn't matter what their main focus is, but we're trying to design a system that can be tailored or accommodate any type of business. The architecture we've used for the system is designed as a set of loosely coupled components in order to reduce the dependencies between them. And this is a main feature in the software. That means you assemble your own system. I need only those 3 components, I get them together, provide the integration between them, and that's it. Then the system will expand with you or go the other way as well. I might add 2 or 3 components, something for campaign management or case management. And next year, I'm not running campaign anymore, then I can take campaign off again. It's like switching all this component on and off. The system relies on a very comprehensive CRM layers underneath everything, which when we did all our research, we found out there is a lot of commonalities between most of the system that the organization uses. Mainly with the name and address data management, then we extracted all these commonalities and we put it in an underpinning layer for every system as a starting point. Then on top of that, you can actually put different hats or business domains, flavors on top of that CRM. The technology we used, all open source technologies. We used the Linux, Ubuntu in particular, for the development, and we use Firefox as our preferred browser for many reasons, but again, it comes free. We use Ruby on Rails for development, which is a very comprehensive new web languages, and the JavaScript, of course, and Ajax Code, and the Postgres SQL database. They all free. They all can be supported by a lot of communities. And the main reason, as our keynote speaker actually mentioned yesterday, that the maintenance of software can take up to 75% of the resources from the software itself. then by giving the system developed in a technology that most of people can maintain, then we reduce the cost of the maintenance of software, as well as the continuity, that if I disappear tomorrow, there is 100 people can support this technology. Then there is no dependency on the proprietary technology if I use other one. The stronger emphasis when we designed this system was making the system as a software as services, not just a set of applications. As well as the user interface, we spent more than 8 months on research to see the good and bad about the available software. And we were doing it actually from the search point of view, not only just to produce another software to be added to the available ones. We found the most frustrating thing about the software is the usability, the user interface. When you have a message with 3-4 different options of ignore, cancel, and X button, you don't know which to press and what's going to happen the next step. Then we tried to actually design the system from a user interface perspective that anybody, whether they have any experience or not, can actually operate the system with minimum training. We established a new agile business environment in our organizations. When I say new agile, it's not only for the software development, but for marketing, for customer support, for training, for everything else that we always listen to the customer. We always stand up for any changes. We listen for good ideas, feedback from the system. And on the system itself, we design it in the way that while the user are working, if they have any problem, they can just press a button, give a message, and the system will take an image, capture an image from the application to see where they were, and then it will send it to us immediately, and we can address the problem. We reduce the number of mouse clicks. So this is really important in some businesses. And in general, we have an award system in our organization that every developer comes along with a good idea to reduce 1 click, they get a ticket for dinner. And I tell you, we're running out of the tickets right now because we moved the system from version to version in about 2 or 3 months. And it's all about the speed, the performance, and the usability, the ease of usability. We have shortcuts to common tasks on the system. If I know that I log in as Magdy, as a user of group ABC, I belong to a specific department, the system should know exactly what my workflow is. As a suggestion, then I can branch out of that. We make the user interface obvious and clear and easy to understand, and we follow the human pattern. The last thing we ask people is to change themselves to be able to use the system. I'd rather change the system to suit the people environment, even if they're not on the right track, but we start taking them, not in one bang approach, but we'll take them slowly, iteratively, from one stage to the other. Then, one of the most important aspects in our system is to get to some customers, and we had to strike a special deal with them, even when we are halfway through the project, to get them to do a proper testing. Our testing is not good enough. We do the unit testing and all these type of testing, but the most important testing that we need to get in a real life is the customer acceptance testing. And that's where it counts, really. Then we had to go back and see which customer they willing to cooperate with us, especially with a special deal, give them some discount or free system for the first 6 months, where they can do a proper testing on this system, running the 2 systems in parallel until they completely switch to the new one. Some of those organizations, we have the first one as a TV channel in Australia and New Zealand, and they actually going to have a membership system, and they start collecting all their data. They only started with a couple of thousand members, now they're up to 12,000 members, and they're using the system from day one. Another organization, One Health organization in Australia, have a big project of asylum seekers of Australia, and they actually work on case management. Each person, to them, it's a case, individual case, and they need to track those cases and the progress of their application. The Australian Licensed Aircraft Engineer Association is another organization that is kind of like a trade union of the aircraft engineers. They have about 25,000 members, And we look after all their aspects from the members and their activities, all the insurance they can offer them, and all the other. We have the Freemason of Australia and New Zealand, and that was a bit challenge again, because the Freemasons operate in a different lodges, but the head office of the Freemasons said we need to have an access to all the lodges' databases. And we need the lodges only access their own databases, and we cannot have any more than one single database. We don't want a distributed system, and that was a challenge. But with the system design, we can perform that very easily. What we call it in our system, the list of lists, or the smart lists on the system. We have only one database, and we're on the approach by them, that the Freemason at the head office can look at the database in total, and then when they move down to the lodges, we actually partition the databases or segment the databases to number of lists, and each lodge can only look at their own list. And that suited them very well, and they're using the South African Communist Party. We have them in our old system, and now we convince them to go to the new one, with a lot of members as well. Joslova, another association in South Africa, looking after their community, providing them with health services, education, and legal aid as well. Tesea, which is a financial company again in South Africa, just started, and they in mortgage loans and personal loans. And we have the Divine Word. It's a religious order organization internationally. They are in Australia. We put the system for Australia, Papua New Guinea, and USA. Those organizations actually contacted us in a daily basis to give us the feedback. And we had to stop the system and make some changes back again. And some of the major changes was the performance, the speed, the number of clicks again. People are on the phone trying to capture members' details, and they can't get the time to press on a new button and then start going through the fields one by one. They need only one single of a unique ID for the person, and then move to the next one to receive some money or perform some transactions. The work we're still working on at the moment is building the workflow engines to let the user design their workflow, and our system coming from the web portal for all the public and members or guests, and from the back end for the users to manage the whole system. This means we manage the two ends. The web payment gateways, we implemented the PayPal so far, and we expanding to all the other payment gateways. Telephony services, with some case management, we had the need to implement some telephony systems where the people can record messages, they can actually talk to a third party. Sometimes you have a case with 3 or 4 different parties talking to each other. A legal, the complainant, the complainantee, and all those parties together. And they need some sort of facility to record this conversation. The other thing, when people contact the organization, they can find the right person. They can actually leave a voice message as well on the system. When I come and log in, my log will appear and say I received all those voicemails, and I have to act on them. I can just ignore them. We actually using the artificial intelligence and agent technology to watch the human behavior. Then if I look into my system today for the next week and I'm doing a certain task, the system will teach itself what to do next. And the agent is still a new technology. I did a bit of research on it, and now I'm putting it into the application, that watching the people behavior at the individual level, at the group levels, at the organization level as well. What I would like to do now is to share with you how much time I've got. Okay. I'll just share with you a bit of the system. This is the company website. If you want any more information, you can go to the memberzone.com.au, and it's got all the information, especially with the government R&D and all of it. And then from the website, you can access the application as well if you are interested. Okay, when you log into the system, it starts with the dashboard, and it depends if you are a guest, member, or you are a user from the back end, it will give you the right dashboard and it will give you the right system menus when you go in. The main dashboard actually we're still working on the dashboard, we're enhancing that to include the person-to-person chat and live chatting between users and members and all this stuff, and the to-do list with the calendar, but we're working at the moment on the dashboard. When you go to the system menu, the main or the comprehensive CRM, the one I was talking about, which we call it the system core, that every system must start with. And through the system core, you can actually maintain or organize or manage all your contact people, all the entities you're dealing with in terms of people, organization, cases, projects, events, campaigns, everything you can manage from here. Then when you go to the system menu again, you'll find there is a special menu options for membership, for receipting, for fundraising, and so on. And the system will show only the features or the hats that you use on top of your system. We tried on the user interface to give an ease of use for the people. Like, you have so many ways to find the right person you want, or you can go to the specific list, which I can see from here. That will give you the number of lists that you are entitled to have access to. Then the super admin or the person who is in charge of the system can just create me an account and I say I'm only allowed to access list A, B, and C, nothing else. Then this is provided with security for the system. And when they can allocate or deallocate any lists at any time later on. When I look at the entire list, I can see the list in just a table format, or with some people ask for the photo album because they only can recognize their people by the faces. They don't know what their names, especially with international orders. Then we give them that, and when you actually scroll through your list, the whole information changes at the background. Then you can watch those details while you're going through the list. The other good thing for the usability that we don't let the people go through many options one by one. And the reason is that if I need to maintain one of my records, if I select myself again, that will take me back to the application. And that should disappear. And this one here, when I move from one section to the other, you will see that you can only maintain the information you need to maintain. The good thing is we don't take you through a lot of screens to change one single item. If I'm talking about contact, I can come in the contact and I click in the contact to add more telephone number, more addresses, anything I need to add for this particular one. And then when I finish from this one, if I need to go to the address, I can go to the address and try to save the clicks again, like the entire postcode for all those countries we're working with already on the system. We try to make dictionary of all the common data that the people use, then everybody using the same language. Even on the address, if I need to make my private address is my priority address or the default address, I can just click on arrow up or arrow down to resort those addresses. And as you see, you only get those options when you hover over them to just make the screen again clear and simple to maintain. The other thing to say that we're trying to give the customer a full dependent system that we don't rely on any outside applications. Like if I need to send me an email, I click on the email, then I will get an email template that's designed by me as a user, and I can keep track of all those email as a contact log for each person. And as you see again, the submit button is inactivated because I don't need you to click submit and then I'll come back again and say, there is no valid email address. Then when I put the email address that I need to send from, and I put the subject, the submit button appears. Then I know when you click the submit button, there is no error message, there is no confirmation message or warning or anything at all. And that saves a lot during the process. The other good thing on the system that people can create their own shortcut as well. If I'm working on somewhere in the system, I can create on the system bar at the top any number of shortcuts. Like I'm working here on a new user account, and then I need to go back again to my person. The normal flow is to go to the system admin, go to the core, and go to the person. But I can just click on this icon here, and that will take me back to my record by one step. And if I don't use it, I just take it and drop it outside, and that will disappear. If I need to put it back again as a profile icon, I'll take it and drop it on the system bar as well. The quick new, when I add a new person, all what I need just the family name. This is the only compulsory piece of data that I need for each person. And once I create that person, say Adam, and I'll submit that, that will take me back again to the application with the profile with Adam record there. When I look at all the other details, we don't try to display or give you all the information you need. Like, now, if I click on more, that will give me more data applicable to this person. And as you see the log history here, if I contacted them by email, by SMS, by any other medium, it will appear in there. I can drill down and see if any action been taken according to this contact or not. Personal details, keyword for the system. This means we can tag people by number of keywords, groups that they belonging to, master docs for people take care of the passport, the driving license, expiry date, and all this stuff. In South Africa, there is a national ID as well. In some organizations, they have, that's the only unique ID they have to use. And the bank accounts and custom fields if the customer can have a need for any other fields that they can find on the screen, and they can label them anywhere they want. Then I can go less in here to reduce the screen, but on the other tab, I've got all the business-related information to this person. At the moment, this is all at the personal level, and we show you only the most important set of data. But if you need to go something like donation, I'll give you the donor ID and the last donation details by date, amount, and last contact. But if I need to know more, one click will give me all the statistical information regarding this person within the fundraising or the donation. It will give me the first, highest, and last. And from our research, we know that the most important details needed for the donors. And then we talk about the current year, last 1 year, last 2 years, and so on. If I look at the membership or the transactions, I can look at the transaction in details from this one here, and it gives me all the previous transaction. And if I decide to make a transaction for this person as well, I can simply click on my transaction, and that will take me to the financial side of the system, make the receipt, do the transactions, and then it will take me back again. There is no menu that you have to follow from one task to the other. And the other good thing on the system, when we designed it, that we let the user work on a task at a time. They can't mix between the tasks. The example of that, if I go to the person back again, and we don't have transaction for this person, it's a new person. If I'm talking about person address now or person contact details, even talking about notes, if I need to add a note for this person, the system will show me all the existing notes. I can actually double click on any one of them, and I look at the note itself. I can change it, I can put some feedback on the note, or I have the option to add a new note. But when I add the new note, the existing one will be displayed there for only referencing. I cannot access any one of them because I'm in addition mode at the moment. Then we don't mix between the two. Once we finish the addition, it will put me back again to the full maintenance of the system. By this way, we'll make the user just concentrate or focus on one task at a time. Then we reduce the chance of making errors. One of the powerful feature of the system is the list of lists, where we can actually fragment the database to any number of lists. Even as I give the example earlier that the organization will make this system only using one list, then the admin of the system can come even from that one list, they can partition it to another sub-lists per users or per sections or department, whatever they do. This means the level, nesting level of those list of lists, unlimited. They can go any further. And the system create a lot of smart lists automatically, then the user don't have to do anything about it. Like the staff list, the people working for the organization, the members, the active member, the non-active member. System watches the behavior of the members and create system lists behind the scene. Then you can go anytime and access, and they are dynamic. If my status is changed from active to being active, I'll be removed from that list and be added to the other list. The other thing, we provide a lot of integration facilities for people to integrate with accounting system or any other system in terms of XML data or CSV or any other format you need to produce. It's just another import and export version. And the contact by mass emailing, the Australian Aircraft Association had to do voting by email. And they actually asked to send some 5,000 emails. The system will take all those emails, queuing them, then we don't really block the email server, and we release them by batch, and the customer can go back again and change those batches as long as they're still standing on the queue. Then, by doing this system, we're trying to give a full control of the user over their system, their data, without the need of going to any other software outside, even if they have the option to integrate with any other application. Thank you. Sorry to be
Any questions? I guess it's one question. Probably it's time for lunch, so we'll keep the questions for lunchtime. Magdy will be joining us for lunch. Thank you very much, Magdy. Really appreciate your time very much. Thank you.